I am Atir Maher, your module leader. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the world of learning new concepts and current trends, so let's start. Alright, let's dive into SWE4304 Assignment 1, the Database Design Report. My goal here is to guide you through exactly what you need to do to get a fantastic grade. So first up, the key facts. This is a design report, and it's due in week 8. Now this is a big one. It's worth a whopping 50% of your module grade, so we really want to nail it. You've got about 1,500 words to play with, and it's a single docx file submission. We're focusing on two main things, relational modeling and normalization. So let's get into what to include and how to prove you've done it right. Okay, this is probably the single biggest hurdle where people trip up, mixing up Assignment 1 and Assignment 2. Let's make this crystal clear. Assignment 1 is all about being the architect. It's design and analysis. Your evidence is going to be diagrams, written explanations, and tables. Assignment 2, that's for later. That's when you're the builder, doing the full SQL implementation and running queries. For this first assignment, you should have absolutely no SQL query outputs in your report. Seriously, keeping these two separate in your head is the easiest way to avoid losing marks. So what's the actual project? Well, you're designing a database for a car rental company. The whole system needs to handle bookings, which means you've got to figure out how to model and link all the details about the cars, the customers, and of course the bookings themselves. Think about things like hire dates, return dates, and costs. Now here's the key thing. The scenario might not give you every single detail. That's okay. You are allowed to make assumptions, but, and this is a big but, you have to clearly state what they are and justify why you made them. Let's talk about the final package you're handing in. It's not a bunch of different files. It's one single professional Word report. Simple. You need to structure it with clear headings for each task. All your evidence, your ERDs, and those mapping screenshots, they need to be embedded right there in the document, with explanations. Your anomaly tables and your 3NF work go in there too, along with a proper Harvard reference list and a quick note on the tools you used. The big takeaway here, one clean, consolidated report that has everything in one place. This slide right here, this is the heart of the assignment. This is the key to getting those top marks. You have to show your design journey. You need to clearly walk the marker through your process, all the way from the initial requirements to your ERD, then to the relational schema, and finally to your polished 3NF design. Show your mapping stages with screenshots from your tools and make sure you annotate them. Explain your choices for primary and foreign keys and any constraints you added. The grading is pretty straightforward. A fail means stuff is missing or just wrong. A pass means you've met the basic requirements. But excellence, that comes from having an accurate design backed up with really strong, clear justification for every decision you made. Okay, a quick but really important point about sample data. For Assignment 1, you're going to create some, but its purpose is super specific. You'll be making tables right there in your Word document, not in a database, and you'll want at least 5 realistic records in there. And the whole reason for this data is to help you illustrate the classic insert, update, and delete anomalies that can happen in a database that hasn't been properly normalized. So just remember, in Assignment 1, your data is purely for analysis. This brings us to a huge question. Do you need to execute SQL queries for Assignment 1? The answer is a very loud and clear no. You do not. There should be 0 SQL query outputs in your report. The only screenshots you need are to show your design and mapping process, like an ER diagram from Workbench. It's not for showing code execution. Save all your cool SQL scripts and query results for Assignment 2. Let me say it again. In Assignment 1, you design. You don't run business queries. So if you're not running SQL, how do you think about things like creating, reading, updating, and deleting data? Well, you do it conceptually, using anomalies. Your job is to spot potential insert, update, and delete problems in a version of your design before it's fully normalized. The evidence for this will be those anomaly tables we just talked about, filled with your sample records. Then you get to be the hero and explain exactly how your final awesome 3NF design swoops in and prevents each of those problems. You don't need SQL to prove it. You're showing why normalization is so important just by thinking it through. Task 3 is your personal reflection, and it's a really important part of your grade. Now this isn't just a diary entry. It needs to be a professional look back at your learning journey. Talk about what you learned about modeling and normalization. What were the specific challenges you ran into? Maybe you struggled with assumptions or defining relationships or getting your head around 3NF. Most importantly, explain how you solved those problems and point back to your evidence. Refer to your figures and tables to back up what you're saying. Just keep it specific, link it to your work, and keep it professional. Now, this assignment is a report, so there's no formal demo scheduled, But, and this is important, you absolutely must be prepared to explain and defend every single decision you made. Imagine your tutor asking you to walk them through your ERD choices. Could you do it? Could you explain your mapping steps, your keys, and the constraints you picked? Could you tell a story of how you found anomalies and use them to get to your 3NF schema? The golden rule is simple. Only submit work that you can confidently explain from start to finish. And finally, let's talk about the non-negotiable rules of academic integrity. This assignment is Category A. That means no generative AI except for maybe basic spell and grammar checks. Your Turnitin similarity score has to be 20% or less, which means you've got to write in your own words and reference correctly using the Harvard style. You're also expected to use 5 to 10 research sources. And of course, be aware of the late submission penalties. Your integrity, your referencing, and the quality of your research are all being formally assessed here. All right, before you hit that submit button, just take a deep breath and use this final checklist. Is your submission one single docx file, and is it within the word count? For task 1, have you included your ERD, your schema, and those annotated mapping screenshots? For task 2, do you have your anomaly tables with enough records and a clear justification for your 3NF design? And finally, is your writing solid, with proper Harvard referencing, labeled figures, and a tools declaration? If you can take off every single one of these items, you are in an excellent position to do well. Good luck, and remember, all the content in this explainer was produced by your module leader, Athir Mahir, to help guide you.